Financial literacy is a means to an end, right? Like you can't achieve financial freedom if you don't have the information and the behaviors that are going to get you there.
College taught me how to work for money, but they never taught me how to make my money work for me. And that's what I learned.
We also had an interest in, trying to pass down, resources to not only our children, but their children. I believe the Bible, says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So, we definitely want to do that as well.
And for me, it's just a matter of executing those items, implementing financial literacy, knowing what to do in a certain situation, knowing how to go about paying off debt, as an example. Without that knowledge, it's really hard to do because you just kind of muddle through, and without having a clear direction, it's really hard to accomplish goals like that.
Just as you have something systemic within your body, and we talk about systemic racism, it's almost systemic within our culture not to be literate. It's not because of something we didn't do, it's because of what we didn't know. And now that we know better through programs like D-Free, we can do better and we can spread that word to our people so that we can kind of wipe that history clean so it doesn't repeat itself, and we can kind of build that foundation.
Financial literacy and financial freedom has been a long time passion of mine. I will tell you that I did not necessarily grow up in a household that talked about money, that talked about finances. We didn't talk about necessarily investing, life insurance, or any of those things. One thing that I began to notice really was generational wealth that was being transferred amongst communities of that were not communities of color. I began to learn or hear about debt-free living. And I thought, oh my gosh, people do this. People actually live debt-free. I decided to learn more about that and once again, take the next step. Those next steps made all the difference.
Yes, it was tough. Yes, I didn't know what I could do or could not do and all of that stuff, but I tried. I had to start somewhere. I had to work on my credit. I had to do things like cut back on things. There's always a sacrifice. I don't have a partner. Well, yes, I do. God has always been my partner, and he's always opened up those doors for me. But for me, I had to make the choice to step through them, whether I was afraid or not, because he always has my back.
I think I've seen firsthand what the burden and stress of debt and really even poor financial management does to a family, to a person. I've seen that firsthand really my whole life. And frankly, I think I was taught more how to be broke, how to manage being broke, more so than anything. Financial literacy, I think, is critical in being able to not only pass on something for your kids financially as well as knowledge, but I think financial literacy is an important tool in being able to be a good steward for what you have. I've had overdrawn bank accounts, and it wasn't until I got into a kind of a clearing financially and started learning more about managing money and being committed to the day-to-day battle against the desire to consume unhealthily. It wasn't until that I really understood what it was to try to be a better steward.